showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Silent and profiling. Woo, woo, it's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I am Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313, and by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. Happy Monday to you.
What's up, brother? Pads are on today.
Finally, they were supposed to go on yesterday, but I guess that McDermott was like, "Yeah, y'all could chill one more day before shit gets serious." And today it still wasn't serious. I think it was kind of a lighter workout, kind of lighter training camp day today, but I think the rest of the week's going to start getting down to the nitty gritty. And plus, DeMar Hamlin, I think they want to just kind of have that one of those that kind of easy practice, you would say. So it wasn't super intense from everything I heard, but it was a good practice. I heard it was good back and forth. Both offense and defense looked good from what I heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Outside of Ken Dorsey calling up some trick plays and getting Josh blown up on the end zone.
Yeah.
What the hell was that about?
Who was it? Tehran? I heard it was Tehran.
Tehran.
Yes.
How about we don't put our franchise quarterback in that kind of situation in camp?
Well, I mean, listen, the players need to know too, though. You gotta let up. He is the quarterback,
and I haven't seen the hit, but
no, neither did I.
He hit him and then fell on top of him and knocked the wind out of him.
I don't think that's Dorsey's fault, guys. Listen, you guys are the ones calling
Oh my God, Tom.
You're the one calling for freaking, better plays.
Exactly, but you don't run your quarterback. Have you seen what's going on in camps this year?
I have to see. Yeah, but we haven't seen the video, so we don't know if that's Tehran's fault or not.
It was a throwback to the quarterback. You don't need to call that trick play in camp.
Yeah, but who cares? The players still know better than to hit the quarterback. You know that. They're not gonna. They still need to let up. I mean, I'm just saying.
Listen,
I
get your love for Dorsey, but this one you can't call that play. You can't put him in that position. You can't.
I guess. I think the players have some responsibility.
Oh no, they absolutely do. But day one of practice, and you're calling a quarterback throw. You call that play when pads aren't on, not when pads are on.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think things are gonna get a little chippy at times. Players are gonna get hit. Josh is a big boy. I mean, players also need to know when to let up a little bit against your quarterback. I'm just saying. He is in a red jersey.
Right.
So, it's the one guy. Man, how bad would you feel if you are the guy that knocked out like your franchise quarterback for the season?
Right.
Like, man, you may not. Bill's Mafia might hate you. Like,
I mean, listen. Not only does that guy get torched for doing it, but McDermott gets torched. Dorsey gets torched for even calling a dumbass play like that in practice.
Yeah.
Today, Tim Patrick suffered a torn Achilles for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Done. KJ Hamler had to step away to a heart issue. That's two of their wide receivers gone.
Damn,
for the season.
Just like that. Things.
Zach Moss broke his arm in practice.
I know. I heard. Poor guy, man. Can't catch a break. That Zach Moss. Yeah. Hey, it's gonna listen. We got to knock on wood, guys, because ain't nobody gonna tell us about injuries,
right?
like we know all too well last season about how injuries started. It started with Poyer. Yeah. Last year for us with the arm, with the elbow.
Yeah.
Nice and early.
The players' injuries, yeah.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones, who signed with the Cowboys, 2-game suspension for PEDs.
Damn, dude.
The positive thing is Joe Burrow looks like it's not going to be a long-term thing, and he'll be back before week 1. And same with Garrett Wilson for the Jets. They said he'll be out about a week. He's not in a walking boot anymore. So you're starting to see, obviously Jalen Ramsey's the big one who's going to be out for a big chunk of the year after a complete meniscus tear. So, how about we don't put our guys in positions like that?
I hear you. But listen, some of these injuries too aren't like physical contact injuries. Some of those are just injuries that just occurred because it's just bad luck. Sometimes it's a little bit of bad luck too, but I get what you're saying. I understand, but it's gonna get chippy. This is nothing, by the way. You remember last year, Josh Allen pushing Jordan Phillips.
Two fights.
Yeah, two, right? Who's the other one?
God,
I know Phillips was the main one.
Yeah. Phillips was the big one, but he started another one too.
Did he? Oh, geez. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So, and remember, that was Jordan Phillips kind of, and I don't even blame really Phillips on that one too much.
That was
Josh kind of want to initiate a little contact, and he realized how big Phillips was because usually Allen's the bigger guy going, toe to toe with some people, but
Phillips gave him a little extra at the end after Josh initiated the contact. He wasn't going to hit him.
Right.
Quarterback in the red jersey. Josh hit him, so he pushed back, and then Josh got mad. But that's just, Josh is a fiery person in general.
Yeah.
So is Stephon Diggs. I don't know if you saw today, but Stephon
I missed that, but I heard with Kyer, right?
Kyer got into it. And then Kyer stepped back in, and Diggs cooked him. And then Diggs went into practice, caught a touchdown, and he was just fiery all day. Pads are back on. That's what I want. I want a fiery day.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to get worse, and this is nothing. Like, as it intensifies, as the days go on, and they start hating each other because they're sick of seeing each other, playing against each other, that's when they're just going to take the frustrations out in preseason. That's what everyone's waiting on. The players are going to – they love each other right now. They're going to hate each other in camp, then back to loving each other once preseason and regular season starts.
The good thing is I don't know if they're going to get to the point where they truly hate each other because they have enough.
No, but you know what I mean. Like on the field,
it's not like
in the moment.
Yeah. It's not like it was back in the thing where you had the 2-a-days and things like that, and you had 3-hour practices. They're going for like an hour 15.
That's true too. You're right. They did do a lot of changes.
And they used to have like a 3-week camp before they got to preseason games. Now it's like the first few days are non-padded. Then you have like 10 padded practices, and then you go into your first preseason game. So you stop really doing stuff. And they're not even really hitting yet. They're thudding right now. They haven't even really started hitting yet.
I know.
So camps have kind of changed. We shouldn't see as many of those type of fights now. Where you'll see the fights are probably in the position drills, especially between the offensive linemen and defensive linemen when they start getting after it and it gets nasty in there. That's probably where you'll see the skirmishes.
So did you hear about this Zeke going to the Patriots? Is that true, or did you read anything about that? I saw nothing on that.
I saw that he went there, just like Dalvin Cook went to the Jets. They both watched a practice. I have not heard anything else after that. That's it. That they were there. They took physicals. Nothing about contract offers or anything.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Any other NFL news that we missed over the weekend? By the way, Pee Wee Herman died today. Not that it's NFL news, but rest in peace, Pee Wee.
Right. Nothing major this weekend. DeMar Hamlin made it through. They had him talk today, which was awesome.
He did. So that was good. I told you that mental hurdle. That was going to be.
He talked about it at length.
He did. And we talked about it on Friday. And we just said, wait till when the Pats come on, it's going to be a little different for everybody. I think everybody's going to be a little bit tensed up, a little bit emotions going to be riding a little high. And I'm glad, I'm glad his family was there too. Give him a little support, being out there, which was good for him. Yeah. And then just going through the motions, man, going through the regular, finally getting your pads on, getting some, getting some tackles in, like the real deal kind of. He's getting there.
Be nice.
Oh, you're funny. That is funny.
Be nice.
I was like, well, I was trying to think about what you're talking about. That is funny.
Be nice. For DeMar, he had his mom and his little brother out there. He had his agent there. So like a bunch of people came as it's the next step. And I think you were right because it seemed like there was a lot of intense moments.
Oh
I
yeah.
bet you it was all the way around. The players felt it. He felt it.
Oh
Coaches
yeah.
felt it. The trainers felt it. Like, it was just one of those. Then this was the next box check. The next one after this will be the red, white, and blue game, and where they're really smashing each other. And then the next one will be the preseason game
Yeah.
when he is actually playing. Because once we get to the regular season, they'll have pictures of him, but he won't be playing as much. He'll be playing more special teams then.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's gonna be the preseason and those type of things. So he has. I feel like he has 2 more really to check off.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, because you won't. I don't. He'll have limited action this season, especially now with the addition of Taylor Rapp. So, yeah, I agree with that. So, but here's the deal. I think with the first preseason game he has, I think it's going to be intense for the other team as well. You get what I'm saying? Because I just feel like everyone knows this story. Like, it's not like just this happened in our camp last offseason. Like, this was a national televised event. Every single player knows about it. So it's going to be one of those things where even the players on the opposite team are going to be like, okay, man, you good? You good? All right, let's get to football. You know what I mean? And by the way, we have a huge super chat. I think this is the biggest super chat we've ever got from Cali Blitz. Thank you, Cali Blitz. And I think I know him. He used to have a different name, and I forget the name he had. But anyways, Jack. I think this is Jack, I think. Anyways, what's up, Tommy and Mike? You've been a minute since I've been up on here. Yeah. Let's go, Buffalo. I'm pretty sure you are Jack. If that's you, man, thank you so much. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you, man. But yeah, man. God, it's been a minute. I haven't seen him in a while. Jason, Washington had a petition signed to go back to being really the Redskins. I thought I read something on that, and I kind of skimmed by it.
Well, new owners.
Wow, owners. That's interesting. If that's true, that is a bold. That's a tough thing to come. That's
a bold play from the new owners.
Boy, that is that not like because that is
because they're also
ballsy, boy.
They also have to get a new stadium done, and they have to work with the local government there to get it done.
Listen, here's the deal with that. Here's the deal. We won't go down like
was it Washington the team or was it the fans?
Right. Yeah.
Did the team initiate this or did the fans initiate this?
Right, get signatures. That would sound like more fans and because the ownership's not going to get.
Yeah, because the ownerships we might have to get signatures from the people to put that back.
I still don't think they would. Here's the deal. I don't mind. I personally, because I grew up watching the Washington Redskins. I'll say it, Washington Redskins. Mm-hmm. And I grew up watching the Braves and the Cleveland Indians. So it doesn't affect me. I'm a white guy. You know, I don't know all that stuff. But I know the Redskin, the term is not good. So I understand why eventually the name probably had to go. Now, Atlanta Braves is still the Braves because I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Cleveland or Guardians.
Yeah. Now, the Indians was, I don't know about that because I don't know if that was so bad. But I'm not an Indian, so I can't speak for that. But the Redskin, the name is why they had to change it. I don't think it was like the logo or anything like that. Because look, the FSU still right. They're never going to change their thing. They have the Indian come out and throw the spear in the grass, right? So the Seminoles. So interesting. If that's coming from the team, like Jason said, ballsy move, boy. That it is what it is. Listen, we don't know if they have ties with the Indians, like American Indians there. Like, we don't know if they're cool with it. If
tribes or anything like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it because I'm not from Washington. I don't know the whole story. Maybe I need to do more research before I talk more into this. Mm-hmm. But that's a good talking point for maybe a later day when I read more into it because I don't want to go down a road that I don't know too much on the story.
I don't like to talk on things that I don't know the background.
Right. So, you know what I mean? And then people are going to call me up like, you bad Tommy. Chris says the Blackhawks logo has a really good meaning behind it if you look it up. I'm sure, listen, like I said, that is that is an interesting topic, like team names, to really do a video on one day. And I might just do that, to just go back and just every team, really. Just to go back at maybe even every football team, just see that origin.
Here's the thing. If it's here's my take on the whole thing. If it's offending people that it isn't part of their race, then it doesn't count. Only if the race has a problem with it should it really matter.
That I agree with 1,000%.
People just pick up things just to
run,
to run
cause controversy.
Yeah,
I'm with you 1,000%. Like if you know nothing about the culture, if you are not that in that race, that whatever in that culture, then you have no right to speak on it unless you're married to an American Indian, or you really know. I mean, unless you are. I don't know. You were born and you adopted into it or something. Other than that, let them say why they don't want.
I've heard the rumors. Tom Brady was also buying into the NFL, and the NFL just recently made a rule saying that the owners can't be players. It was a kind of a under the radar thing that just got pushed out. A memo.
That is an odd.
I think it's because of the whole Brady thing.
Okay,
because Brady got in trouble last year with Miami because they wanted to give him ownership to go there, right? So they got in trouble for tampering and lost a first round pick. So it has something to. So yeah, you can't be an owner player.
That is. Let me pause real quick because it has to be about Tom Brady. One, because let's be real here.
They were talking about Joe Burrow. They're talking about giving Joe Burrow a piece of the stake as part of his contract. And they said, no.
Yeah, but even so, you think Joe Burrow, when he goes to retire, even if he had a stake, let's say he does, hypothetically, he owns part of the Bengals, and he retires at, let's say he goes a long time. Let's say he goes to 42 years old, he retires. You think that dude, the NFL's worried about Joe Burrow coming out of retirement when he's 45 going, you know what, guys?
No.
I'm just saying. I understand, but majority of the owners in the NFL are old ass dudes. Like none of those guys are going to play. This is not a movie. Like this is not. What was that movie where the player was the owner, or he was like part owner? Was that Major League? I think Major League, and the guy played, or something like that. There was like an owner.
Major League 2 that happened,
right? Which is like
Corbin Burnson.
Yeah, it was like old
played the character. Yeah, he came back to play, and they made him get hit by a pitch.
Right? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So come on, man. Like, dude, that's the most ridiculous rule ever. They had to have done that because of the Tom Brady thing.
Well, it wasn't just the Tom Brady thing. It was because there was talk about in contracts instead of giving them X amount of money towards the cap, giving them X amount of equity in the team to circumvent the cap. So I think that's part of the issue as well. Is they were saying if we give them a 5% stake in the team, maybe we can get them to sign for $100 million over 7 years, and we only pay them $13 million a year rather than $50 million a year, and then we can spend the money elsewhere. So I think that's where it came from. It's because there was talk about Joe Burrow Brady and Burrow both being the two that could have stake in the ownership and be playing.
All right. I mean, yeah, I guess a little silly. NFL, boy, the one thing about the NFL, they are super
the no fun league.
And especially with ownership, like Goodell, he works with the owner. Like, come on, man, let's be real.
He works for the owners,
right? He works for the owners. This is money. Big money. We're talking billionaire money.
Yeah.
And man, like
big boy money.
Yeah. So he will do whatever they want. If it's a vote, he's gonna agree to the owners 99.9% of the time. So
he works for them. The owners work. He works for them. It's the owner.
Dude, that Goodell's contract is huge. I forgot where I read it. I mean, that dude is
50-something million a year.
Hey, yes,
50-something million a year. He's the face of it. And he takes all of the crap.
For $50 million, I take all that crap plus two times two. Oh man, that's
why
unbelievable.
every draft when they boo him, he's like, "Come on, bring it." That's an extra zero.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Cha-ching.
Did you hear about what is it? Jim Irsay, right? He's the owner of the Colts, correct? Right?
Yep.
The Colts owner. Okay. Did you hear so today? I guess he was cruising in his little golf cart, going on the field, and some guy yelled from the stands, like I guess whatever the training camp stands or whatever. He's like, I guess they do like promotion or like giveaways or whatever. So he's like, you never, or he's like, I never win a giveaway or something. Like he screamed it, right? So I guess he stopped the cart and he handed security an envelope to give to the guy. Yes, 2,000, and he signed, I guess, one of the bills.
Yeah. Pat McAfee talked about this all the time.
Oh, did he? Okay, I heard
doing that for years out of training camp. He rolls up with envelopes full of cash, and he just gives them out.
Just random. That's funny, dude.
And just gives them out to fans.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Doing it forever.
Terry Pagula.
Ain't doing that.
Yeah. So listen, real quick, Bill's Mafia. If you expect to get an envelope from Terry Pagula,
full of cash,
St. John Fisher, it ain't happening. He won't. I don't think you will get a promotional T-shirt thrown your way from Terry Pagula. No longer $2,000 in cash. So hey, it is what it is. Everyone's different.
Callie, I'm also from the 916.
Oh, we got neighbors here.
Yeah.
I don't think. I wonder if Jack. I think this is Jack. He hasn't confirmed yet, but
he did.
It is. Oh, did he? Okay, Jack. So yeah, our buddy, Mr. Mikey's from your 916 area code.
Yes, I am.
You guys probably bumped into each other in like
born and raised in Rockland, California. I now live in Citrus Heights, California.
Oh, Elon Musk. Yeah, he changed. So did you know Twitter changed Elon Musk changed it to X?
He changed the name to X.
I can't even get used to that, by the way. Just a heads up. I would not call it X. It's Twitter, okay?
It's Twitter, yeah.
For as much as he wants to change it, fine. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't care about the logo. The logo means nothing to me. The blue bird, I don't give a shit about it. But I call it Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. I'm Xing on X.
A lot of people are taking that X and Xing out of the app.
Really? I won't
anymore.
I won't. It's free advertising, baby. It's free promotion. I would not leave. So let's get to some training camp talk. By the way, Jarek, did I already say Jarek might be joining us or no? Did I tell the people that?
No,
I did.
You did not. No,
I did not. Okay, I will. See, today is a weird day for me. I had a lot going on, by the way, guys. Like my YouTube channels, I don't know what the hell is going on there, and just a long story. I don't want to get into it. I already vented to Mike, but Jarek might be coming on tonight. Might be. I don't know if he is still, but
if he can,
he actually attended training camp yesterday. Okay. So he had some good things to talk about, and one of them was Dalton Kincaid. So hopefully he does have time. He can jump on here later, but if not, it is what it is. So let's start with
Dalton. Let's start with Dalton.
Yeah,
Kincaid.
Let's do it. Let's start training camp talk. Go ahead.
He's had a fantastic camp to this date. I was really wondering how it's going to look once pads went on, right? So because you hear all the time people looking really good, and we'll get to the whole Nick Wright, Josh Allen hate.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
always
listen. He hates on the Bills because it brings clicks. He knows Bills Mafia is coming for him when he does it. That's why he does it. He's a troll. Just ignore him.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what? The NFL has spoken, and Trevor Lawrence is like number 90 something in players, and Kirk Cousins was like top 50. So listen to what Nick Wright has to say. It doesn't tell you anything. Listen to what the players are telling you. They'll be awesome.
No. Nick Wright's a joke.
He's a troll.
He's a joke troll.
His job is to bring viewers. So he talks crap about Josh Allen.
He is definitely the worst.
Knowing that that's going to bring viewers. So
he loves it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dalton Kincaid, I was worried because you always see guys without pads that have a great camps. He looks so smooth. So I'm like, what does it look like once he puts pads on? And from everything that I saw and heard today, it's the exact same Dalton Kincaid. Super smooth, sticky hands, just about as steady Eddie as they come, which is fantastic for us. I'm not gonna lie. That's so great to hear. that once pads went on, it didn't matter. I guess there was one that he caught, and as he caught it, he got stuck and he held on to it.
Nice. Yeah, man. Listen, everything I've heard so far regarding Dalton Kincaid since day one has been damn good on the field. And the other positive thing is Josh Allen loves him. And not only it's right now with what I'm hearing from camp since day one is Stephon Diggs and Dalton Kincaid are his primary targets. They've been since day one, all the way up till today, still his primary targets. I'm also hearing his speed. He is pretty damn fast. That's what I'm hearing.
He moves faster than you think. Like he has better game speed than straight line speed.
I'm hearing his burning defenders as far as getting open. His route running is crisp.
Yep.
Yes, and listen, man. If this is the case, and Josh and him are already getting this connection going this early, I mean, we may be in store for something very, very good this season from Dalton Kincaid. And I listen, I think, and listen, I told you, I'll eat crow when it happens. And I'm eating crow now because I didn't like the pick day live, so I can't go back, act fake, and be like, I love the pick. Like I didn't like the pick initially.
What he's going to be? Yeah, no, it's not us.
Right. I'm not that kind of guy. Like you're not gonna, and I don't want to be that guy. But I wasn't happy initially. Right. Mm-hmm. I also didn't know a lot about him because honestly, I didn't study about him because I didn't think we'd take a tight end. One, two, because two. I didn't think he'd even be there anyways. So I was looking for guys that were in the 20 range to 30 where they could land to us. So I was skipping past the top 10, top 15 players. So I definitely didn't target him or look at his profile. And then I was just mad that they took a tight end in general, like I said. But once everything was done, the dust settled, and they got the player I wanted the most, which is Torrance, then I got a chance to actually dial in, do my research, and I'm like, yo, this guy could be damn good. But then, of course, me and you got to talking. But there's a big but. Will Ken Dorsey know how to use them? Because he hasn't done 12 personnel. He doesn't like to use tight ends much. Then we're like, oh, maybe this is not good. Well, right now, I got to say, we are running 12 personnel, and he is using Dalton Kincaid out there mighty quick in this training camp. And Josh Allen and him, like I said before, have a connection going early. And that is not – Allen doesn't often have that connection with these younger guys that quick. It takes a little time. And if he's already feeling Kincaid as far as the connection goes, my God, Mikey, sky's the limit.
Allen was also in OTAs all offseason learning that. So it's funny because, we had a talk about Josh Allen a few shows back about how he isn't as committed as, the Patrick Mahomes and these other guys, right? Yeah, he was there for all camp, and he's got this connection with Sherfield and Hardy and Kincaid already. Just because it wasn't publicized doesn't mean that he wasn't working with these guys. And, you can tell that he already was to have this kind of chemistry this early in camp. No, he was there. They were putting in work. It just wasn't, splattered all over the TV.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be either. Yeah. Who cares? It did nothing to do with me. If they want to, you don't know what they're doing on the side. Yeah. And by the way, too, I do want a Milano jersey, and I damn you, Cali Blitz, Jack. Awesome. I got to get one, man. James Cook too. Yes, you want to talk about Cook now because dude is shining in camp.
He has been shining in camp. They were again. It's the running back position, just like with offensive line. You got to be careful about how much you look at it when you don't have pads on. However, he's been shining in the pass game. I don't know if you saw the clip the other day, but he caught a bomb over Micah Hyde.
I did. It's in my training camp video, Mike.
I know. I just want to make sure that you.
I most certainly saw it. Very, very good catch. By the way, great throw, better catch. Not easy to do. Not easy catch to make. And on Micah Hyde. So Yeah, man.
It looked like
and wearing that big goofy helmet, to that big goofy padded helmet.
Yeah, well, keeps them from having concussion, so I'll take it all day long. However, that's the same route that he ran at Georgia, and he was catching touchdowns on.
Yeah,
so it was nice. Yeah, it was nice to see him, put that type of stuff in. And then I guess to start today's practice, he busted a 20-something yard run right off the top.
I heard. I also heard. Was that the run that Spencer Brown helped him open up? I heard Spencer Brown.
It was Bates and Brown opened it up.
Okay. Good.
So speaking of Bates and Brown, you know that they've been rotating your boys Osiris and on the first team. So today in pads, it started with Bates at right guard. Then they moved in Bates to center and inserted Torrance with the first team and had Mitch take a step out. So you got to see it with Bates at center.
Interesting.
And with the first team, yeah.
I like that. Like Cromer did that last offseason with what was his name?
Doyle.
Doyle.
Doyle moved all over the place.
So I like kind of experimenting with Doyle to see what if he could fill in at any position. And they said Doyle actually looked pretty good last season doing that in camp. So that's a good sign too, by the way, because Doyle's still here. But no, dude, listen. Bates could potentially, and we've talked about this multiple times, be the center for this team after this season. I could definitely see it happening. So if that's the case, yeah, why not put him at center during camp? Get him some reps in there early.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? So even like you said, preseason. Why not? The more he gets reps with Josh that's under center, the easier the transition will be next season. I'm just saying, right? You'll be way familiar with him.
The more that he plays at center, the more I think Torrance has a better shot of getting that job. Because if he's going to be the backup center, they'll use him as a super sub to where he can do any of the three interiors, and he can even get you out of a game at tackle if you need him to. The more that he's moving around, the more I believe Torrance is taking a stranglehold on that job. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Granted, it's going the preseason games and stuff is going to play a bigger role in that. But it's nice to see that Torrance, it's not too big for Torrance already. Like you looked at Dorian Williams. Someone was talking about him in here earlier. He was already moved out of the middle linebacker competition, and they said we're just going to put him on the weak side and let him learn.
Right.
But you didn't see that with Kincaid. You're not seeing that with Torrance. These guys are having shots at the starting job, which is nice to see.
Yeah, no, listen, man. I think I truly believe, Mikey, that Torrance will be your right guard starting week 1. I know you don't think that. It's not just you, by the way. There's a lot of people thinking Torrance probably won't be the starter week 1, but he may get in there by week 3, week 4. I wouldn't like that because it wouldn't make sense. If we're doing that shift in week 4, it's like, why are we doing the shift then at week 4? You get what I'm saying? Like, then to me, then there's no point. You might as well just keep Bates in there. Like, why would you start Bates and then all of a sudden go, all right, you know what, Torrance? Well, week 4 is here. I think we trust you to go in week 4. Like, if you're gonna do it week 1. Have faith in the dude. If you're not gonna do it, then have Bates start all season. Have Torrance learn or whatever. Or be that guy, the depth guy, a rotation guy, whatever. But I just truly believe, man, I think once camp, and now, of course, the pads are on, but once it gets really going, heated, because it's going to be 2 weeks of really, and so that first preseason game, they're going to really see what Torrance is about. They're going to see what Bates is about, too, at center and all that. But I just think Torrance gets that job. I just
You heard about Richard Garage, right? He had one today where he just, like, planted the dude. I think it was Kinsley Jonathan. And just, he had like perfect technique. Like he's better with pads on than with pads off. I have a feeling that Torrance is going to be the same way. He's, it's one of those things that he's going to be better once the pads come on because he's going to be able to use his strength and athleticism. Like it's hard to do that when you don't have pads on.
Right.
From an offensive line standpoint. Now that pad's on, I have a feeling we're going to see Torrance really start. If he's already grabbed the concepts, which was why I didn't think he would start. It wasn't, and I think I told you this. It wasn't from a a skill perspective. I thought because the NFL's concepts, he only has 1 year of SEC, and I don't know what the concepts were at Georgia, and they don't talk about it much, or not Georgia, but at Florida. They don't talk about it much. So I thought he might need to learn the concepts. If he's already got those down and is getting first team reps already,
right,
that's a great sign for him.
Yeah, it's a real good sign.
Chance to take it.
Jason coming in saying the NFL Network saying the Jets are going to go 13-4, Miami's second, 11-6, Bills at 9-8. Peachy, I don't care. I don't care if they had us winning one game. Like, listen. Everyone's going to know the deal when the last game of the season is played in week 18, when the Buffalo Bills win the AFC East yet again, because once again, I'll say it again. These teams have proved nothing. They have proved nothing yet. They have proven Jets haven't even gotten the playoffs. And I think they're the longest sports team that hasn't even made the playoffs, right? And like the longest stretch. So
they're tied with the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay. It's a long ass time.
Yep.
And they've done nothing. Now, are they getting better? Yes. I'm not a hater. I'll be honest and tell you, every team in the AFC East has improved, except for probably the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots really improved, but Dolphins and Jets, yes, they improved, but so do we. Like, I don't understand why these guys, because we didn't do these unbelievable splash moves. By the way, the splash moves the Dolphins made, one of them isn't even playing until December, if that. So it's like all this automatic. We're a 9-win team. Really? Come on, stop.
But you know what? They said the same thing about the Chiefs last year when Denver won the offseason. Remember? The Chiefs let go of Tyreek Hill. They were done. Denver's
I remember
the division. The Chiefs may not even make the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl.
Dude,
you're right. He says it. We love not being respected. Let them sleep on us.
Yeah,
Let them sleep on us. That's great.
I have no problem with that. I would prefer
them to sleep on us than, even Kyle Brandt, who's a big Bills fan, didn't put us in the big dog category. He put us in the hovering category.
All right, cool.
I'm like, good. He put us there with like Jacksonville and the Dolphins and the Chargers, and like, okay.
Listen, and it's funny how these guys flip-flop all the time, because by week 8 will be like the Super Bowl contenders again. Like, this is how they do. And it doesn't matter what they say for Super Bowl contenders or not, because they said that last season and we weren't. Let's face reality. It didn't happen. So I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I just want to watch my Buffalo Bills beat up on some Jets, beat up on some Dolphins, win the AFC East again, and handle business this time in the playoffs. Because that is really, I think, what Bills Mafia is concerned about. It ain't no damn AFC East. We run the AFC East. Like, I keep trying to tell people that. Like, our concern right now, our goal is to go to a damn Super Bowl. Like, we already have that AFC East.
Not even go to Super Bowl, to win the damn Super Bowl. That's our goal.
Go to Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. You damn right. Damn real. You're right. That is the goal.
Win the damn Super Bowl.
Win a damn Super Bowl. So, anyways, man, listen, I don't care what they say. They could blab on all this. That's their job. I get it. You know what I mean? But I think they're totally wrong. I think they're totally wrong.
Yeah, I didn't like when they hyped this up anyways. I don't like that hype.
Nah.
Let them crap on us, and then we'll show them that we're better, and that's the end of it. Chris comes in and says, do you think Dorian Williams will get much playing time this year, or do you think it will develop him for a year? He's going to be developed. I think they're going to put him on the Matt Milano plan, to where he's going to, first half of the season, he's going to be learning the playbook and everything. And if Terrell Bernard or Dodson or Spector can't win that job and do well, you might see Williams pop in later in the year.
Right. So that, by the way, they kind of put him the outside linebacker recently.
They're starting him outside.
Yeah. So they talked to Bean today. Bean kind of slipped up a little bit. Said Spector at first, but they're asking about the middle linebacker spot, and he said right now it's Dotson and Bernard, right?
Looking the best.
We're looking the best, but he initially goes Spector and Dotson, and so I know.
Spector's in there. Spector's forced his way into the conversation. Right.
It forced his way in his brain where he's like, this dude I got to talk about, but no. Listen, the reality is this. I think it's still, I think Spector's still in it. It's still early. But I said Dotson from the beginning. I thought when they initially brung his name up, I think it was Bean in the offseason. that Dawson might be the guy starting week 1. He kind of hinted at that, but that still doesn't mean he'll be the guy. I think it's going to be a good competition. Bernard's a little surprising to me. I haven't seen much on him, so I can't wait to see really what he does.
He was out there all day today, running with the ones. Tomorrow,
no, I mean, I want to. But of course, I'm not there. I can't see it. I want to see it. When in preseason, yeah. So, because I saw what Spector can do when given the opportunity from last season, and he was all over the field. He was super impressive. I just knew they weren't going to go with him. Obviously, right away we had freaking Tremaine Edmonds. Why would they? But they kept him around for a reason. They could have cut him, like, because listen, how many times have you seen flashes in preseason of some dude and they wind up cutting him because it was a preseason game against the threes, and they're like, this guy's not as good as you think. So, and then you never hear from him again. It happens all the time. But Spector, they kept around for a reason because there's something they like in him. I think that dude could potentially win the job, but we'll see.
He played in the SEC. He started 4 years in the SEC middle linebacker. He was one of those guys who he's the balanced guy of the three. So Dodson's more of a old school run linebacker. He's bigger. It brings the thump. He's not as good in coverage. Bernard is a little undersized and more of a coverage linebacker. Spector's kind of the middle guy. He's a little bit of both.
Right.
And I agree with Eric. He is pissed off this year. He's talking crap. He's talking mad. Like, he's bringing an intensity to our offense that I love.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
I don't know how I missed this interview with Isaiah McKenzie like in the offseason. I don't know how I missed it, but today I saw it, and it's an old interview. It's like I think in March
when he was talking about the routes and stuff.
No, not really talking about crap. He was talking about why because they asked him about the Diggs situation. That was early on. Okay. And he was saying, I get his frustration because it seems like every year, it seems like we had the team, but for some reason, like we just couldn't get the job done, and we don't know, we don't get it. Like he doesn't understand what's going on here, and the frustration boiled over. And I'm like, yeah. Yes, that's exactly it. Like I think if I would have read that earlier, I would have even said that way early on that it wasn't an Allen thing or anything. Yeah. So listen, Diggs this year, man, this is a huge year. I'm not even gonna say Diggs. This is a huge year for Sean McDermott and his coaching staff. No, I'm talking about just the coaching staff in general for the players. I'm talking about coaching to players, right? I'm talking about that trust. That getting your players to have your back again, to believe in to believe in you, to believe in the process, all that crap. I almost think McDermott in a way needs to earn that back from Diggs. I'm not saying Diggs is like not trusting McDermott, but I almost think that relationship needs to get into a better spot, and obviously winning does that. But I think McDermott really needs to, and this coaching staff needs to prove this season that they can lead this team and lead it far and lead it to a Super Bowl. Like you said, win a Super Bowl. And that's what Diggs wants. And that's what his concerns were. So I think this is a huge year for this coaching staff to prove that. Because if they don't, Mikey, once again, we will be talking about this in the offseason again. And Diggs will be upset again. Because I guarantee you, we are back in the playoffs this year. And I guarantee you, if things don't work out again and we wind up doing what we have been doing the last 3 seasons, it's going to be a problem. And people are going to really, players, because I think right now we are questioning it. And we are talking about it. And Bills Mafia, media, it's going to be the players. And it's not going to just be Diggs anymore. It could come from other players. And that's when things will hit the shit will hit the fan. Because once you get other players on board with Diggs and they're all talking to the media or whatever they're doing, not good. So let's just hope this year McDermott figures things out, because I'm going to tell you, McDermott has a lot of pressure this season, Mikey. He is the defensive play caller. He is the head coach. He just got an extension. He has a lot on his plate, boy, to prove this season that he can do the job.
He also has a Super Bowl roster that he hasn't been able to close the deal, and it's due to a lot of his coaching. Like
I
the game
guess.
plans. Well, if you go back and listen to Isaiah McKenzie's first interview this offseason, he talked about what happened in the Cincinnati game. He said, we never changed our route patterns. Not once.
I know.
And Diggs, part of what Diggs was saying was, this sets of plays not working. Let's move on to another set. There was never any adjustment. We've heard the whole thing with Leslie Frazier in the playoffs is they never adjust. And that's part of the issue is the adjustments. Where are they when it comes to the big games? They don't do it. And that's what has to change.
Right. Now, also real quick too, in training camp, I have heard the defense is looking more aggressive than it ever has under the McDermott era. Good. It's a great sign, by the way. Love to hear that. But I also want to take you back down memory lane when Sean McDermott was a DC in Philly and he got fired because he was over aggressive. Just a heads up. I read everything on this. And he learned from the great Jim Johnson, who was a super aggressive defensive play caller, one of the best. And he took his style. And that was good. And when Jim Johnson retired, Sean McDermott took over. Sean McDermott, unfortunately for him, that first season maybe was also too, he was young, first year as DC, just like Ken Dorsey. And I think he was a little bit too aggressive, and it cost them games because there has to be a sort of a balance as well. Can't always be super aggressive. And when he went to Carolina, I felt like he found his way, and he was a little bit more balanced, still aggressive, but I think he found his balance there. And I hope he has that with Buffalo and not the Philly style where he was just aggressive all the time.
He hasn't, but you have to remember he was still new to the role.
No, I get that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It was like a Ken Dorsey thing, right? You can give that a pass. But I'm just saying the reason why he got fired was because of that. They wanted to go in a different direction.
Let's be honest. The reason why he got fired is because that team just wasn't very good.
I get it.
And Andy Reid wasn't going to be the one that was showing the door. He had to let his coordinators go.
No, I get it. I'm just saying. He also, but the stats weren't good.
This year, If the Bills fail this year, it's going to be depending on how they fail. If the offense runs into issue like they ran into, it's going to be Dorsey's going to be the fall guy. McDermott's
100%. I agree. I agree.
So
the offense can look great in the playoffs. The defense does terrible. And it's going to be one of the coordinators, and it's not going to be McDermott because he's the coordinator.
Yeah, it's going to be Eric Washington or one of those guys.
Right. It's not my fault, man.
You're right. Comes in and says, "Can Diggs be traded after this year? Because if we aren't great, he's going to want to leave." No, Diggs is locked in. For like the next 4 years. Like there's no way out. There's like $100 million that we gave him up front that locks him into here. There is no out for Diggs for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, there's no, unless he retires.
Too big of a dead. No, even if he retires, it screws up.
No, but we get the money back. I'm just saying. Oh no! Oh, no. Interesting.
No,
I didn't know about that.
It's already paid. It's already paid.
It's guarantee.
Yeah,
it was a guarantee. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well. Let's hope you don't retire.
No. Diggs and Buffalo are married together for like the next 3 to 4 years.
Oh, well, we better get it done while he's here for the next 3 or 4 years because it's going to be miserable for the next 3 or 4. And I'll be miserable.
Big time dead cap if we try to cut him.
Right. No, I ain't going to happen.
And all that stuff. So
not going to happen.
McDermott's defense has stopped choking in the playoffs. We got shredded last impressive coaching was against Baltimore. We did have a really good one against Baltimore. We also had a really good one against the Patriots. I think that was the last.
Oh, dude, that was one. I think, yeah. I don't know. I think that was really close because I thought the Ravens, that game with the hype around Lamar.
That was the year before, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. That he's talking about just in general. I thought the hype around Lamar heading into that game.
That was a better coached game, but the last good one was against.
Oh, yes, I agree. Right. But I'm just saying with those games, like I'm talking about the playoff defensive. Let's say the best playoff defensive games by the Buffalo Bills under the McDermott era. I would go Patriots. The Patriots game 1, and then I will go the Ravens second, but it's close.
I would go the Ravens 1, the Patriots 2.
Yeah, okay.
The Ravens, we didn't have the offense bailing the defense out. It was the defense bailing the offense out.
Yeah.
It was the one time you saw it.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Listen, I told you, I'm like, they're very close to me because I thought there were some massive plays too in the Patriots game, because if you go back to that game, we score first, I believe, and then the Patriots marched right down, or were marching right down, and if it wasn't for that pick,
Micah Hyde
which
just
really,
nowhere.
Is that out of nowhere?
Which really was a shitty
and it kind of was
because Dane got beat. Micah
he
Hyde
got beat. It was really exactly, and maybe a better quarterback with a little better arm might have got there, just because it was really a fraction. It would off.
As it was touching the guy's hands, Micah Hyde came in and just took it from him.
Right, but that Baltimore game, I kind of feel like every time we play Baltimore in general, I thought Leslie Frazier did an excellent job, and his style of defense is built.
People have blueprinted that defense and used it against them. How we did it. Like it was how to do it because Baltimore changed their offensive coordinator this year, so what their new offense looks like.
That's true. You are right. 100%. You're
Dallas,
right. They had no choice.
I'm with you. I've been a big time down on Gabe Davis all offseason. I will tell you, everything I've heard, Gabe Davis has had a fantastic camp so far.
Yep.
He's catching everything. They're also here's one of the things that me and Tommy talk about all the time, and it's his catch percentage. But what we don't talk about is his route, percentage. He runs deep routes on like 90% of his stuff. This offseason, they've incorporated him in the short stuff. So you're going to see that catch percentage go up. It's easier to catch a slant than it is a go ball.
Bubble, slant, exactly.
Yeah. So you're still going to see Gabe probably get incorporated a little bit better this year than he was last year. From everything that I've heard from the beat reporters, and it's all of them, he's having a fantastic camp, and he looks really good.
Yeah, Joe coming in, Jim Schwartz. Listen, I loved when Jim Schwartz was here.
Oh, I loved Jim,
dude. I wanted him to get an opportunity to be coach at one point because I thought the dude was bringing it. I liked his energy.
And then they hired Ryan. I wanted them to hire him.
Right. So it is what it is. He knew how
to use Mario and Darius in that front four.
Yeah, dude.
And then Ryan came in and said, "Oh, Mario Williams, drop back into coverage. Don't rush the passer. I know you're making $100 million, but let's go ahead and drop you into coverage."
And then McDermott brought back the 4-3. So
yeah.
But no, I had no problem with Jim Schwartz, man. I like Jim Schwartz a lot.
Yeah, me too. I loved his defensive play call. He's aggressive too, which is one of the things that we want, is that aggressive attacking style defense. It's what we've hated the last few years about the Bills, is they play the soft zone coverage. We want aggressive. That's what Cincinnati does. Cincinnati's defense plays aggressive defense. That's what the Chiefs defense does. They'll give up points.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, they'll make a play and get a stop when they need to in the playoffs.
Right.
We have a great regular season defense, zone concepts that,
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the big ones, we're just too soft, and these really good offenses pick us apart.
Right. And it bothers me too because we have the players to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't have the talent on the field to be aggressive. Like, I think McDermott sees this now. I do. And I think that's a big reason why Frazier's not here. I think almost like the Diggs thing, they all got in the room together, Bean, McDermott, and Frazier. And it wasn't heated, but it ended as, "We appreciate you. We love you, bud. We want you to get a head coaching job, but we don't want to fire you. And I know you don't want to quit. Let's just call it a year and just go chill and do your thing." And it was a good way. It was a respect thing, I think, from both sides. And I think McDermott had to do this. I do. That defense cannot go on another season playing that type of playing that type of style. And McDermott still can play that style because he knows it. Mm-hmm. But I think he can incorporate his style as well, which will be that aggressive style. So you're going to still kind of see that Frazier style defense with a McDermott twist, which is bringing that heat, bringing the pressure more, being a little bit more aggressive. And I'm hoping that it works because I believe it. I believe we have the players. By the way, Gregory Rousseau looking sharp as well in camp.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Floyd looking sharp. Mm-hmm. Puna Ford had an interception.
Puna Ford's looking like a monster down low.
Yeah, so
Ed Oliver is looking like his best self.
Yes,
making
I'm telling you,
plays every day.
Right now, from every report I've heard, pretty much in camp, it's a back and forth. Both sides are looking good. So that's really good to see. Now, of course, there are going to be days where one of the sides don't look as good. It's going to happen. But so far, after 5 days, I'm loving everything I'm hearing on both sides of the ball, man.
Yeah. Patrick comes in and says not a lot of people are talking about the Floyd pickup.
Great.
No one's going to talk about it until, week 1 when Vaughn's on the pup and Leonard Floyd's starting opposite Gregor Rousseau, and we're still getting that pressure.
That's right.
Because he is a sack artist. He is a pass rusher through and through. Every year, it doesn't matter what team he was on and who he played with, the dude produced.
Yep. I heard Andy Isabella and Hardy and Shakir were all doing punt returns as well. I gotta say, I know the Andy guy's fast. I get it. But I gotta say, watching the very limited film on him, watching his combine run, by the way, not impressed. I am not impressed by Andy Isabella. I'm sorry, man. Now listen, maybe I changed my mind when I see him in preseason and he has an opportunity to do punt returns, kick returns, whatever. Maybe I changed my mind then. But right now, if you look at the film, what you got on Hardy compared to Isabella, my God, bro. Hardy is freaking fast, dude. Electric fast.
Different
I've seen
types,
I get it. Yeah. I know that, but I'm talking about this just overall fast, quickness. Isabella seems to get like they catch up to him. I don't know. I've seen guys kind of keep up with him. I didn't see anything that over like where I'm like, whoa. Now with Hardy, bro, that dude catches the ball and he is gone, bro. He is lightning fast. Now I get it. I don't know what their plan is with Hardy, and maybe they don't want him to be just a punt return. Maybe they want him so much on offense that they're going to limit him on special teams, and then they'll use Andy Isabella as a punt return. Maybe. Okay, cool. But I do you want to keep an extra receiver in Andy Isabella because of that? I don't know.
No. I think Andy Isabella is going to be a practice squad guy that could be break glass in case of emergency.
There you go. I don't mind that. Okay, cool.
I read somewhere, and I can't remember where, they're floating around trade ideas, like legitimate trade ideas, not like, the Bills are going to trade for Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Someone proposed the Bills trading Boogie Basham for Devin Duvernay of the Ravens, the returner / slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, there is a true trade that would make sense on both sides. One,
right,
because the Ravens now have picked up a couple now their slot receivers. Duvernay is a returner, both kick and punt returner. Like that would make sense. That would be a good one because he is a great returner, but he does bring something to an offense as well.
Right.
As a wide receiver 5, that would be a cool one. I want
to Eric V is talking about. Yeah. No, man. Yeah. No, you called it. I mean, listen. When I didn't even know. I'll be real. I didn't really know the guy until we picked him up. And then I watched. Oh, hey, hold on, guys. We got Jarek.
Oh,
all right.
Jarek in the building. Yeah. Hey, I told you we run long sometimes, so you good. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, Jarek, our special guest from Jan Sports. What's up, brother?
No, nothing much, man. Just end up wrapping another show, talking about some other content. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be here, man. Dude, training camp is wild. It's wild, man.
And I'm glad you came on, by the way, because you were actually there yesterday, and I know you wanted to talk a little about Kincaid. So the floor is yours. Tell us what you saw on Kincaid. Go ahead, Mikey.
Let me ask you this question: is Kincaid as smooth as I'm hearing from all the reporters?
Yes, he's faster and quicker than I in person. There's not a soul on that team that can cover him. He's too big. He's too fluid with his movement. And it's just like you can tell he has a basketball background. Like basketball players like Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez and I think Waller played basketball at a high level. Like
Jimmy Graham
from the Hurricanes.
Pitts. Like these dudes just know. Like they just like their movement is just that fluid, man. And man, he is. I think the most impressive part to me was his hands. Like his hands he has really, really strong hands. He can snatch the ball quickly off the air. I also will say this too. I think a lot of people expect him to simply just be a slot receiver or push him out wide. I think again, he's gonna line up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna line up a lot on the line. He's gonna line up a lot on the line, and I think we're gonna be running a lot of 12. And I'm extremely excited to see what this dude can do. He was destroying cats with his route running ability. I was extremely impressed watching that kid
when
play.
you were there, was he lined up? I've heard he lined up in the backfield as well. So he's going to be more. He's not going to be the typical Dawson Knox tight end. You're going to see him line up all over the place. Sometimes he'll be in the backfield. Sometimes he'll be on the end. Sometimes he'll be split out. They're going to use him as a true X factor weapon.
Yep, they had him out wide. They had him out wide sometimes in the red zone on a fade, sometimes as well during scrimmages. And they like you just said before, they literally got that kid all over the place. And I'm extremely excited to see, especially in pass catching situations. I'm excited again. I don't know if this is particularly going to happen because I didn't see it, but there could be a situation where, typically like Reggie Gilliam sometimes could play as a fullback and they would just kind of have him out there. We could see situations where there's Knox and then you have Cook. And now you have two elite pass catching type guys that is complete mismatches like that. Like there's a lot of, I don't like to put a lot of stock in a player as far as them changing the entire trajectory of an offense. I'm doing that with Kincaid. That Kincaid alone would simply, as long as he can stay healthy and with his presence on the football field, and then you can incorporate Dawson Knox on some 12. You want to play some 13 with Reggie Gilliam because they got him as a T3. That's fine as well because Reggie Gilliam has the athleticism that for the most part that you really, really like. Even though he's more of an H back, I think I see him more as playing more as an H. But no, Kincaid is a guy that is very similar to what Kelsey and what Darren Waller, if he's healthy, and Kittle is to their offenses, how they can literally just make players better, the entire team better with their presence. I think the same thing with Kincaid. He's a mismatch. There's not a soul that's going to cover that man.
Yeah, I heard he left Milano, who's the best pass coverage linebacker, and is in the dust. Like Milano couldn't keep up with him.
Man. That dude's insane.
That is so awesome to hear. So let me ask you about this. Since you were out there, I don't know if I'm going to say his name right. Stetzenberger, the new tight end that we got
from the Green Bay tight end.
From Green Bay tight end. Mm-hmm. The former 3rd round pick. They say that he's coming on, and he's a lot more athletic than what people are giving him credit for, and there's a chance he's winning tight end 3.
There's a possibility.
Did you see him out there?
I saw him a little bit. I saw him a little bit. He took some reps with the second team on some occasions. He's athletic, man, and he's extremely athletic as well. And again, if Reggie Gilliam is not that TE3 and they just want to move him back to H, then he's going to be incorporated tight end 3. I'm excited to see what he does in the I'm excited for the first preseason game because I'm telling you, there's a lot of looks that we saw last year and we thinking, okay, maybe that this is going to be incorporated. I'm for sure now that we're going to see a lot more 12, maybe even some 13 exclusively. I would not be surprised at all if we start to see a lot more of that for preseason.
I think so too.
We talked about this and we felt like the reason why we didn't see it last year is because the tight end just never made the roster. We ended up getting rid of him. OJ Howard ended up being a bust. He just didn't fit, and that kind of ruined what we wanted to do this year. And then we pivoted off of that back to kind of the spread formations because we didn't have that tight end 2 or tight end 3 that we were looking for that we seem to now have in the building.
Yep. Another guy I want to bring up real quick. Another guy that's been looking good at camp, Trent Sherfield. Did you see anything on him while you were out there? I'm hearing a lot of good things, so that's why I'm asking. Anything on Sherfield?
Yeah, he's gonna be a deep threat. He's gonna be a vital deep threat. I can see him along. Again, I'm gonna keep mentioning Kincaid a lot, but I can see him with Kincaid and Knox. And then you can slip him out, and again, he can just be that big, deep vertical threat for you. He's a very underrated route runner. Like I think a lot. Again, he's not Cole Beasley level, but he's very underrated. I think a lot of people kind of underestimate his ability solely just because he's just a large, deep threat type of guy. But no, if we're talking about somebody that can play as your other slot receiver, that's a guy that you could see on the football field, and that's a guy that has a route tree that he's going to develop that he can that he's going to develop at a pretty not a pretty high level, but he's going to develop at a very solid level. And again, that's a guy that you're going to be that's going to be incorporated a lot into this offense. I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see what he can do because we need a John Brown caliber player, and I think Sherfield can be that dude for us.
Yeah.
So we hear the speed of Hardy is like legit. You saw him in person. Is Hardy really the explosive jitterbug?
Yeah, he's fast. He's fast. He's fast as hell, man. I wish he's got a. There's some special team drops. I would like to see him catch some things now that now that we're missing Hines. We're missing Hines now, so I don't know who in the hell. Again, we got to incorporate him on that. He's got to work on that. But no, he's fast. That dude is fast.
I didn't realize he was so short, by the way, 5'6".
And they say that's giving him some.
I will say this: he's not as. I don't think he's as quick as McKenzie. I think a lot of people kind of McKenzie has elite quickness. I don't think he's as quick as McKenzie, but as far as straight line, just burner,
he's faster.
Faster by a mile.
Yeah. Okay. Let's change skill positions. Let's go to the quarterbacks. You are out there watching. Obviously, Josh Allen is QB1. There's no for QB2, Barkley or Allen.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So let's take it this way. Do either of them look better than Case Keenum did last year?
No.
Oh no, this is not good.
I mean, it's not the worst.
This is not what I wanted to hear.
We've seen. It's not the worst that I've seen, at least for me. And again, it's day 3 when I went, so I didn't go today. So again, I'm gonna go back there. Hopefully, I'm gonna go back there next week. But hopefully, it can be a lot more improved. And again, one was in non-pad work, the other is in pad work a little bit, but it's not like the hype around Miami right now is the fact that Mike White's killing it as a backup quarterback and that he's probably going to be your number 2 right now. You can clearly there's a big drop off from Allen and then the other Allen and Barkley right now. It's a big drop off
so I guess my question is Allen better the second Allen, the junior Allen, is he better than Barkley? Because if he's not better than Barkley, that's scary.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't think so.
You think Barkley beats him out for a QB2?
It's gonna be an interesting battle in camp. I'll say that. It's just gonna be interesting. The preseason games are going to be interesting. I'll say that. It's going to be interesting. If there's one thing that we need to keep an eye on, it's quarterback. It's QB2 because I don't think QB3 makes a roster. I'm gonna be honest.
No. QB3 goes to practice. By the way, hashtag what is up? I don't know. It is Mario or Paul, but man, long time no talk.
My guess is it's Mario.
All right, long time no talk. Right. And y'all, if y'all never been on there, which I'm sure you have been, check them out, man. They have great content.
They go live on Sunday nights. All 4 of them. They do wonders. I was in trolling them last night, having a good time. So he's returning the favor, obviously.
So let's switch sides of the ball. Let's go to defense. Let's talk about the middle linebacker position, man. What did you see out there, man? Because right now, from what Brandon Beane said today, it's looking like Dotson. And Bernard. So how is Bernard, Dotson, and Spector looking? Because I've heard great things from Spector. So it's kind of weird that he would put Spector out of the loop real quick on that. Now there's a lot of training camp left, but what do you think about that middle linebacker spot, man?
So there wasn't that much activity, or there wasn't that like anybody that blew my socks off. But I will say this: I do think that Bernard has the higher upside, like no question. I love his upside. When you blitz him, I mean, there's a reason why they took him. I can see that because, again, when he was drafted, I'm like, you drafted him to be a backup linebacker in the 3rd round when there's like so many other contributors. And then all of a sudden, when you take a look at some of his highlights, and he's like, okay, well, I can kind of see why. When they used him, when he's blitzing, man, that kid is. There's to a point where I think you might have to put him as a Micah Parsons. Like I think you can make a conversation that you might have to put him in the Micah Parsons role and just get after the quarterback, like similar to what AJ Klein was during that COVID year, where his best attribute was literally rushing the passer. You might have to just do that with Bernard. I do think that Dotson has a little bit more control. He has a little bit more command on the defense, and that's just experience. He knows his defense a lot better right now. But the ceiling, if we're just talking about if he can just grasp the defense and then you can just incorporate the fact how he can just get after the quarterback, and then you can fix a little bit of his coverage ability a little bit there. I think Bernard has the higher upside, but Dotson right now, again, as far as floor goes, and as far as again just command right now of the defense, I think Dotson has the advantage right now. But I think that with Bernard, you again, as far as like putting it like making him as a rotational linebacker and just having a piece of this defense, I think that he's on his way to potentially fighting for it.
He wasn't saying he was Micah Parsons. He was saying use him like Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you might.
He's a really good.
He's a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So
there's not
here's my
many.
take,
Like...
and tell me if I'm way off here, Jarek. My take is when you look at the three, you have Dotson, who's more of the old school, middle linebacker thumper, a little bit bigger. You have Bernard, who has a little bit more of the pass rush, probably better pass coverage than Dotson. But then you have Balen Spector. And Balen Spector is a little bit like that balanced linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He's decent in pass coverage. He's a solid run tackler. He just needs the time in there to learn it. Because when you look at it, I'm trying to find we don't have a Tremaine Edmonds anymore, right? So they're not even looking for that skill set anymore. They're looking for a Matt Milano type to run two coverage linebackers, is the way Brandon Beane's explaining it. If that's the case, I want Spector to win the job, because he's the better of the three pass coverage guys. And really, I would have preferred Dorian Williams at Mike, because he's the best of all four of them. But if they're going to start him at the outside, I want to see more of Balen Spector. At least when he played last year, he looked competent.
Yeah, I'm still Mikey. You know how I feel about this. I said it. I know it's crazy. But I almost still feel like McDermott's going to wind up doing this rotation thing, depending on the game, and depending who we play, and you might see Klein starting one. You might see Bernard one game starting at middle linebacker. You might see Dotson one game, depending on the game we play. If that's the case, I know then you're raising the question. Okay, who's calling plays back there? Who knows? I don't know. That's a great question, but I just kind of feel like at this point it could be week to week thing. And he's did that before, I think, with Klein, right? He substituted Klein when what's his name was out, when Edmonds was out for a little bit. It was Klein 1 week, and then the other week
1 week.
Yes. So, and it's the same guys.
Here's my take. I said this last night on hashtag inside of their chat, because they came out and they asked who's going to be the starting middle linebacker come week one. I don't think that our starting middle linebacker is on our roster. There's a lot of deep position battles in the NFL. Like the Chiefs have like 8 linebackers that could start for us right now. Yeah. Not all 8 are going to make the roster. I have a feeling our starting middle linebacker is going to come from someone we pick up. After they get released from another team. I really do. I have not seen anything that makes me confident that any 3 of these guys can truly lead our defense.
No,
right.
Yeah, all 3 guys have something that they're good at. I mean, but their weaknesses, man. It's like especially with like I said, the type of defense we run that cover too. It's like it just doesn't really fit. I mean, Spector is the more balanced guy, but he's not the most athletic. Mm-hmm. He's not the best. I mean, he's solid in coverage, but he's not good or great in pass coverage. He's not good or great in as far as stuffing the run and plugging. I mean, he's just okay. Dotson's kind of the same thing. Yeah, and then Spector, I mean, and then I'm not Spector. Bernard is athletic as all hell, and he's quick and he's fast, and he can. I mean, you send him up the hole, the dude can hit the quarterback, but everything else is raw, and everything else he still needs to kind of work on. His game is just not there yet. So. Yeah, I mean, we may have to. I really wish we had money.
Could we see? And me and Mikey talked about this when Vaughn gets back. Them going to 3-4 here and there. It would be interesting for them to do that with Vaughn, Floyd, Rousseau. Right? How do we have that set up?
Well, Mikey? You can do it. You can do a 3-4.
Beautiful setup.
I think they would go. more of a 4-2 under look.
They could do that too. Yep.
Where you have, Groot and you have your three. So you have Groot. You'll have Oliver sitting more on the tackles at more the DN spots. You'll have Daquan or Puna fit the middle, and then you'll have Floyd and Miller rushing off the edges, and then you'll have maybe Milano and maybe bring in like Taylor Rapp as another coverage linebacker in a NASCAR package. I can see something like that going on.
That's what I want McDermott to do this season. I want to see more exotic blitzes, more exotic defenses. You don't always hit the play. Like Frazier had the same defense almost every game. Every game plan was the same, right? No matter who we played, didn't really change. I'm hoping that McDermott, with the defense he has now, with the players we added, Taylor Rapp, who could play down in the box, Leonard Floyd, who could play linebacker, Von Miller, who could play linebacker, right? Like they can be all over the field. With this defense now, and Gregory Rousseau, then you got AJ Epinesa. Let's not forget about him. He had a decent season last season, right? He's going to stay on the team. We have guys that can get to the quarterback. We have guys that can cover. Like, it's going to be interesting. Like, I want to see more linebacker blitzes now. You got Dorian Williams, he can get another guy who could get to the quarterback. I want to see that dude in the game making plays, getting to the quarterback. Terrell Bernard as well. He's a guy that gets to the quarterback. You need to bring more linebacker blitzes. I didn't think they did enough last season. I didn't think they did enough at all any season. Anytime they brung in Milano and Edmonds on quarterback blitzes, it worked pretty much all the time. They just didn't ever do it. Very rarely did they ever push that. And I don't get it. I never got that. I thought they never used Edmonds right, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
So last year, before Vaughn got hurt, our with our front four, our pressure rate was one of the best in the NFL. After Vaughn got hurt, it was one of the worst in the NFL. It wasn't even like we had to bring the pressure, but what my issue was, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the adjustments that we don't see in those big games. They never adjusted to bring pressure.
Nope, never.
When the front four wasn't getting home, when we didn't have the personnel. Yeah.
Never. Listen, that was the Brian Dable and Frazier frustrated the hell out of me because Brian Dable's the same way. They both hate changing game plans up. They can't stand it. In-game adjustments, the worst, especially in-game adjustments. And Dable got a little better. I'll give him credit. Especially his last season, I thought he improved. Because remember, second halves were always our worst. Always. And I thought Frazier was okay, but I thought last season, the second half adjustments were bad. I thought Frazier, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Second half was awful. And then the playoffs, once again, it's like offenses know what Frazier's going to do. They study the Buffalo Bills, and he doesn't study that. I don't get it. And listen, it is what it is. So hopefully McDermott learned that lesson. You got to mix it up in the playoffs. You cannot keep it up the same defense. You got to do in-game adjustments. You got to flip it around. You have to. Not pressuring the quarterback in the playoffs, just not putting heat on. It cost us so many games. You know that. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes at 13 seconds. I mean, you can't do that. Playing that soft zone and against the Bengals, giving them 10 yards of separation, 10 yards. Ridiculous.
Dice you up.
He's going to eat you alive.
And not only give them that soft zone, but then have no pressure to even force them.
Zero pressure. Soft zone. They're going to just run
that soft zone, bring the pressure. That's fine. Then they, Joe has to make a quick decision. But if you're going to give him 6 seconds with that soft zone, he's going to pick,
it's going to kill you.
Going to kill you.
Absolutely.
Kill you. Absolutely.
I mean,
so hopefully that changes,
look at the difference between the Kansas City game when we made that zone pressure because we ran a zone blitz that Patrick Mahomes threw the interception on versus what we did against the Bengals where there was no pressure. And the difference was we had pass rushers then. We didn't have pass rushers in the Cincinnati game. It's the reason why Leonard Floyd is on our team now.
That's a huge addition, man. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. It's a huge addition too. Just like we said when Vaughn got signed, for these younger guys to learn from, man. Like Gregory Rousseau is just picking these dudes' brains, man. I cannot wait for Gregory Rousseau this season as well, Jarek. Like, how is he looking out there, Rousseau? By the way,
he looks good, and him and Epinesa, man, are showing some really big improvement, especially Epinesa. Like Epinesa has a lot of versatility. It seems like he has a lot more pass rushing moves in his arsenal that I can't wait to see be displayed. No, he's been he's been impressive to me, and you know, he's fighting for a position. He's fighting for more reps, and I haven't seen that much from Boogie. But
of course,
Rousseau looks good. Boogie looks good.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah. Rousseau looks good. He looks really, really good so far. He's gonna have a pretty big year for us.
I think 10 plus sacks.
He came out and said he's gonna have double digits. He said he would.
think so. Oh, he said it too. Me and Rousseau on the same page. That's good, man.
Mm-hmm. But I think if and I can't wait to watch that first game. But if Epinesa, because he's been pretty good. He's been really good so far.
Okay.
And
That's good to hear.
See what he does in pad work. But I mean, Epinesa had like what 6.5, 7 sacks last year.
6.5.
6.5 sacks. So if he could just improve on his game and just showcase his ability, man. I mean, he may. I mean, who knows? I mean, he can get an increase of reputation, and I think we need it. The more depth, the better. The more guys that can be in the rotation, that can play at a high level, and we don't skip a beat, the better that it is for us. Because Von is going to be back, I think, sooner than later. I think Von's going to be back sooner than I think people would expect it, because he looks fast, man. Even when even with that ACL, when you see him sprinting, he's fast.
You also see him actually doing pass rush moves off to the side and doing work that wasn't seen last year. Like they say, Vaughn looks closer than Phillips or Matakevich.
Mm-hmm. He might be, and again, they don't like to rush him, but he might be back, I'd say, like week 4, week 5. I think he's going to be back sooner than what people give him credit.
I think 5. I think week 5. I think they'll put him on the pup.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see him week 5 in limited action, and then week 6 he'll be good to go. Like totally.
He says he needs action to get ready. So I think they'll bring him back week 5. Or when do we play Jacksonville? Because I think we bring him back after the London trip. I don't see us playing him and then sticking him on a long plane flight.
So look that up for me if you can, Jared. Real quick, my Nickel City Mafia, my buddy, man, I've become good friends with this guy. His name is Mike as well, Mikey. You also can't win when your offense only puts up 10 points in the playoffs. Not all on the defense last year against the Bengals. And I agree. Listen, last year, I will say last year against the Bengals, that was a total team failure, total team loss. Me and Mikey go live every single game, win or lose, and we tell the truth, right? No matter what. Now, sometimes, obviously, your emotions get a little ahead of yourself, but I still will say that game there, and even Josh Allen came out and said it, that team was, from the get-go, from kickoff, looked out of it. They looked done. They looked spent. They looked like they didn't even want to be there. On both sides of the ball.
There was never any changes. If you listen to the players as well, they talked about it. Like Isaiah McKenzie came out and talked. They never adjusted their route concepts based off of conditions and the way they were playing. They just stuck to the game plan, and the game plan was not working.
Both sides of the ball. I agree.
So it's week 5 is the Jacksonville game. I think week 6 is when you see him.
Week 6, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So let's say week 6. But I agree.
Football,
once again,
Vaughn's first game back, Sunday Night Football against the Giants. I can absolutely see that.
Oh, that'd be nice. But yeah, man, listen. Once again, though, it's not always a defense fault, but I will say the defense has let us down more than the offense when it comes to the playoffs. In my opinion. Yeah, in my opinion, especially the one year where we had the real opportunity.
I think the coaching has let the Bills down.
That too. 100%. You got no doubt about it. And I mean, if you really want to go back, if you want to nitpick, go back to that Chiefs game, which we've gone to a million times. I will say though, too, Dable is responsible as well because the first half, his play calling was absolute dog shit. Let's be real. We should have scored way more points than 14 points at that halftime. Mm-hmm. Like they were missing their best safety, and then the second half, he goes, "Oh, let's go, let's attack this side." Let's attack the deep
guy that's been there the entire game.
Oh, it's working? Oh, okay, great. And then we're back and forth. We could have been up at that point going into half, and maybe we're talking a totally different story. There is no 13 seconds. So
Yeah.
Dable's to blame a little bit in that too, as well as defense. But no matter what, though, the offense did put him in position to win.
Well, it wasn't just the special teams. The kick wasn't done right. Like there was nothing about.
No, I know. Yeah, the whole thing was
sucky.
trash. Yeah, trash. But anyways, this is a new season, way new season.
Yes, it is. New teams.
Yeah. So,
Jarek, let me ask you this question. I read somewhere today that talked about, maybe the Boogie Bash not making the team, and if he wasn't going to make the team, that the one of the trade possibilities was seeing Boogie Basham traded for Devin Duvernay of the Ravens, who could be that returner. Could you see something like that after watching what Hardy looked like with his muffs? Would you be on board for something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would. It's gonna be interesting to see what Isabella does because now they signed him and he has some experience as a return dude. He's a Blazer, but Duvernay is all pro. Duvernay is again, we talk about Hardy, all pro 2019. Duvernay was current all pro. So yeah, I would not mind that at all. And like I said, Duvernay also has some pretty nice receiving ability. How you can use him in the slot, and he has some explosiveness. Just after that, again, he's more of a gadget type player more than just strictly a guy that can go strictly deep down the field. But he's for the most part he has a pretty big contribution to what the Ravens do on special teams, and we as a kick returner, absolutely, we need it because I have no idea if it's going to be Hardy or. Because I'm watching Muff punts. I'm watching Muff.
Yeah.
It's
just something I read today, and I don't remember where I read it, but I'm like, that seemed like it'd be, the Ravens have, now that they brought in more wide receivers, they don't need Duvernay as much, and they could use more DNs. I'm like, that just seems like a perfect trading partner. Duvernay doesn't make a ton of money, so from a money standpoint, it'd be pretty much of a wash. Like, I can see a trade like that coming.
And I think because with Epinesa and I think with Floyd, and then you have Rousseau, and then once Von Miller comes back, there's just no point. I mean, again, it's great to have the depth, but Boogie Basham doesn't really.
Is he better than Shaq? Is he better than Shaq Lawson?
No, he's not better than Shaq.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem. If you can flip him and get something for him, get that asset back, because you have Shaq, who has shown that he can be a solid fill-in. He's not a superstar, but he's a solid rotational D end.
Right. Yep. Good depth. Good player to have on the team. Good depth player. I agree, man. Listen, Boogie Basham, I hated the pick at the time.
I hate him more now.
I hate him more now. And he has yet to show any progress. I'll be honest with you. He's okay. Listen, take your L, get what you can before it's too late, and you just have to cut him and get nothing in return. Try to get something, because some team out there might see the potential and say, "Hey, young guy." Exactly what it is. I will have no problem with that. So get what you can, and it is what it is, man. But yeah, let's see. AJ staying. I think AJ took a big enough step last year to stay another year.
And you DN4.
Yeah, and you said he's looking sharp in camp, which is a positive sign. I love that. I love hearing that. So we'll see.
2 words make Tommy feel better. Creed Humphreys.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So anything else? Oh, by the way, real quick, Damar Hamlin. Real quick. How was the pop for him from the fans there? Big pop?
Loud pop.
I'm hearing from what people telling me, that other people that went there too. It's been as far as pop goes, obviously Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, but I'm hearing Kincaid is getting huge pops too, and Damar.
He's one of the best players there.
Yeah,
he's one of the best players.
so,
it's not.
I can't wait, man.
It's not even close as far as at least our level of tight ends. Like, he might just be the best tight end I think we ever had, and I'm not even just trying to say that for rookie hype. As far as uncoverable, unguardable, I don't think there's a better player than Kincaid.
So you know what's funny, Jarek? I don't even call him tight end anymore. Mike, I just call him a play. I don't even call him that. I call him a playmaker. I think they drafted. They drafted a playmaking weapon. Like that, they have to list them as a tight end, But that dude is going to be just a hybrid playmaking machine on offense. He is the fact, and we were talking about this before you came on, that Josh Allen has already gotten this comfortable throwing to him this early. Listen, Allen doesn't normally go to rookies this quick, right?
And he doesn't have a high route tree. He doesn't even have a high route tree right now. It's limited right now, and he's just
right.
They know what he's gonna run, and he just beats them to the
building. Dude, building confidence, right? Building confidence already in your quarterback that, hey, I'm here, I can catch it, no problem. Give me the ball. I'm your security blanket at any time. And that's exactly what we were missing last season. That's why we brought back Cole Beasley, right? Because we didn't have that. And unfortunately, listen, Cole Beasley was not playing football for like the longest time. And he came in super late, so he's still going to be really what we were missing last year. Now we have it. And this is the guy. And this is a young dude who's a taller weapon than Cole Beasley. So he's even a bigger target. So imagine you got a bigger Cole Beasley out there. Like, dude.
They
teams
say
are
that
in danger,
Dawson
man.
Knox is having a really solid camp, too. Yeah. He's looking good. Which is awesome because everyone talks about Kincaid, but Dawson Knox is still in the offense, and we have a lot of different playmakers this year. This might be the best set of skill positions they put around Josh to this point.
Oh, by question, and it, like there's Kincaid, just his presence alone, especially when you pair it again with Knox, and then you have Diggs, and now you have Sherfield, who you can use a deep threat. Like it's gonna change life. It is gonna change life for Josh Allen.
I said
Torrance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
and then
Torrance, my man. Yes, I was Torrance.
McGovern's tearing it up too. They say
there's a difference between. Well, first of all, Torrance is going to win that starting job. I don't even think it's going to be.
Yeah. Me and Jarek on the same page.
Bates is quicker, and I think that he's a little bit more technically sound, but Torrance he's the size and his strength, and he's also lost weight. He's lost a lot of weight.
I heard he dropped pounds.
Yeah, he dropped some weight, but when he gets his hands on you, man, especially on one-on-ones, that's the end of the rep. He gets his hands on you.
He did Puna Ford bad the other day. He slipped on a rep. Puna thought he had an easy go around. He got his mitts on him and drove him into the dirt.
I heard he did good against Ed Oliver too.
Yeah,
he was the best against Ed Oliver. He was the best. Yeah, he was the best.
They say once he gets his hands on you, you can't get away.
Yeah, it's a rep. Yeah.
And with Bates, he gets pushed back a little bit more.
I think Bates' best position center.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that's what I was telling Tommy. I'm like, I don't know if it'll be week 1, but I have a feeling because you saw it today where Bates started at right guard, then instantly switched to center, and Torrance came in. I think Bates is going to be our super sub for the interior for all three of those, and then because they don't like to have that backup center playing in case Mitch gets hurt.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
And with Edwards there, with Bacher there, and all these other guys, I have a feeling that Bates is our future center, and he's going to get education this year behind Mitch Morris. And starting next year, it's going to be, McGovern, Bates, and Torrance moving forward.
And I wouldn't mind that at all. And McGovern's an interesting guy too, man. I think he has a lot of upside.
Path blocker. Really
he has a good upside. I got to see it though. He has to because he had a little ups and downs in Dallas. Let's hope he can have more ups, especially now. And by the way, Jarek, I'm going to mention this another guy before we go. God, we're talking. Spencer Brown getting one-on-ones with Cromer, something he didn't get to have last year. I'm hearing good things from Brown. And a couple plays today, I heard he messed up a little bit, but I'm hearing though he's looking a lot better. Did you see anything from Spencer?
Yeah, he looked quicker. He looked. It looked like he dropped a little bit of weight as well, and that for the most part, he has a little bit of a quicker first step compared to what we've seen in the past. Now he looked really good. He got beat a couple times. He got beat a couple times. But overall wise, for what I've seen him, especially in 1v1s, he was pretty solid for day 3. Again, day 4, I have no idea what he did day 4, but yeah, day 3 he looked really good. But that I'll say this though, in run situations with him and Torrance is about to be disgusting.
Right?
It's about to be filthy.
That's Bates bread and butter.
On the right side, baby, all day long.
That's Bates bread and butter. It's Bates bread and butter.
Brown against the Brown, watching him, as far as running drills goes, he's a different player.
He
looks like an all pro against in the run.
Yes.
But in past situations, he needs to get better. But him and
does.
Torrance as a combination is going to be, oh God, it's going to be nasty.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
I think real quick before we get out, I honestly, Jarek, I think this is the best, in my opinion, the best off season that under the McBean era. I think they addressed a lot of issues that they didn't address in years past. I thought they got a lot of younger depth, which they didn't do in years past when they were just going after old aging veterans on 1-year deals that just weren't working out. And they had some sneaky pickups, and Trent Sherfield, one of them, Poona Ford, Taylor Rapp, right? Leonard Floyd. Like, there's just a lot of Edwards.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of guys. And then you go with the draft. When you got 2 first-round guys, somehow you got a guy that was supposed to go top 10. You picked him up in the 20s. And then you got a first-round player in probably the best guard in the second round.
Back part of the second round.
Yes. So it's like, I think ultimately, man, for what he did now, of course, it's all on paper. We got to see it. But I think ultimately, this is right now, I think this is the best offseason for McBean. Just everything they've done, including bringing back Jordan Poyer, giving the extension to Bass, finding a way with that. Ed Oliver's extension, which probably will wind up being a good deal if he lives up to it, which I believe he will. So there's a lot of little things that happen that I think
the only hole we didn't close is middle linebacker.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know if you can close every hole every offseason. No,
I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
I would rather have a hole at middle linebacker because you can scheme around that versus a hole at guard or D end or somewhere like that. I'd rather put our money there
agree with that.
than at the linebacker position.
I agree with that. Okay, Mikey, any last words?
No, I'm just excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of this red and blue scrimmage this Saturday. And then the following Saturday, we have our first preseason game. And Grant, we're not going to see a ton of Allen and Diggs and those guys, but I'm excited to see the Hardys and the Kincaids.
Dude.
The offensive line. Like, you may not see Dion, but you're going to see Torrance. You're going to see Edwards. You're going to see Bates.
Right.
I mean, you probably won't see Mitch Morris, but that's fine. You'll see Cook. Like, I'm excited to see some of these guys. And then on that defensive line, I'm excited to see, Poona. And, I don't think you'll see Leonard Floyd much, but to see what year 4 of AJ Epinesa looks like, and those type of things. Like Taylor Rapp, how they're going to use him. Like, I'm starting to get really excited for what this year can bring for Buffalo.
Yeah. And also, too, the backup running backs, Harris and I always forget the other guy. What's the other running back?
Latavius Murray.
Cook. Murray, yeah. So Murray. So, because I know. Listen, I'm excited for Cook in general. I think Cook. Listen, if Dorsey can get Cook over 200 carries this season, which no OC so far under McDermott has done that yet, you could potentially be looking at 1,000-yard back if they get him over 200 carries. If not, he'll have a Devin Singletary kind of year, which will probably be 850 around there if they do what they've been doing. But I'm excited because I think this dude could have an overall good year as far as total yards go with the pass catching.
I can see him having running 1,400 yard total yards,
right?
Having 1,000 yards rushing, 400 yards receiving.
100%. That's what, and I'd be good with that.
I don't think he'll have a bunch of touchdowns because I have a feeling that Harris and Murray are going to vulture the touchdowns. Correct.
I agree with that. And that's exactly why they got Harris and Murray for short yardage, which once again, we've been so terrible at. Yeah. You can't pick up a damn yard for the life of us. But yeah, if Harris can stay healthy, I think that's another sneaky good pickup. It's the big if. Yeah. And if track record shows, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I hope not, because he can be a good running back when healthy. But I'll tell you what, don't sleep on Murray. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Murray. He's played well into his later career. Yes, especially later on. So I wouldn't really sleep on Murray just yet. Jarek, any last words? And tell us, everyone who doesn't know where you. Yes,
we
appreciate you, bro.
On and giving us the updates from camp.
Yeah. Like I said before, Kincaid. I expect 700 yards, maybe 800.
I like it.
Kincaid's going to get a lot of targets. You got to give him a lot of targets. You have to. He is a complete mismatch on the field. When I tell you that there was nothing on a limited route tree. There was nothing you can do about it. You just had to sit there and watch and just on amazement of just how good of how good this dude is. And again, I don't like to crown the player as the best, but no, he's gonna get a lot of targets. He's gonna get.
He's on another level, is what you're saying.
He's on another level, man.
Frustrate people like it frustrates us. Like, how do you not cover Travis Kelce? How do you not cover Waller? How do you not cover those elite tight ends? And it's like, it's not that you can't cover them; they're uncoverable.
Right, they're that good.
Exactly. And then Cook. I think Cook is going to be more of a 3-down back than I think people will give him credit for. They literally lined him up all over the place. So I'm excited to see what he can do, because again, that's a player you can legit line up out wide in the slot as well. You can literally line up anywhere, and he's such advanced in his route running progressions and how he can track the football goes, and after the catch, what he can do there as well. It's like it's Kamara like, and I'm excited to see what he kind of does as well. I think, like as we talked about before, the offensive line. I think with Torrance that you kind of include him in there, then with McGovern, I think that's going to gradually improve the offensive line. I think the right side is going to be more based on power. The left side is going to be the better pass protecting side. But no, I'm excited. I think that we've made the improvements in the crucial position in the crucial position groups. Offensive line, right guard. I think at tackle, I think we'll be straight there. I think Spencer Brown. Really, the only weakness on the offensive line is maybe Spencer Brown. And that's just if Spencer Brown can get back to rookie level and kind of improve on there, this offensive line is going to go from like a top 20-ish offensive line to potentially being a top 10 offensive line. Just with that improvement alone. Because I think everything else is set. I think Dawkins is solid on left. McGovern is, McGovern for the most part is a pass protector. Is going to be good is going to be solid on left guard. Center Mitch Morse, if he can stay healthy, is one of the best centers in the league. Torrance is a bully. And then right tackle, you have Spencer Brown, who's also going to be a bully at run, but he just needs to improve a little bit on his technique and just overall his quickness and his kickstart at that pass protection spot. So, everything else, I expect a big year, guys. I expect a very huge year for this team if we can stay healthy. The second half of the season, I'm expecting us to be a lot better, a little bit more consistent. This is going to be, I think, one of the more complete teams that I think we have. And I'm excited to see what happens. I think really the only big question mark I have is coaching. And, replacing Frazier with McDermott, mending the helm a little bit, and how Ken Dorsey's been, it's a lot more creativity. More creativity from Dorsey. Way more, especially on the goal line. Way more creativity. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team can do. Excited to see.
And by the way, too, real quick on the James Cook thing, and when I was saying about the 200 carries, very possible, Mikey. Yeah, I know we haven't done it, but exactly to Jarek's point, we have probably the best line we've had since. I mean, what,
since Richie
and them, right? So
Eric Wood and them.
When we ran the ball really good with Shady, so and for lucky for James Cook, he's actually now he's RB1 and he has that now, and now he has dudes that can block for him. And one thing about James Cook from last year that he improved on big time was his patience waiting for the block to open.
Breaking tackles, too.
Right. The game slowed down, breaking tackles, right, running between the tackles. Like, all that improved. But for me, it was more about being patient, waiting for the blocks. And now that he has guys that actually can block and not have, like, 3 guys in the backfield just smothering you, I think it's going to be huge for James Cook. So you could definitely see James Cook, because if you look at some of the games, go back and James Cook, some of those games he was electric. He just didn't get the ball a lot. So let's see what happens this year. I'm very curious how that goes. And by the way, Cali Blitz, we go live Mondays at 9 for now. Once the season starts, we'll be live on Mondays after Monday Night Football. Probably we usually go 5-10 minutes right after Monday Night Football. And then on Fridays, it's the same time every time, 8:30. And remember, it's Eastern time. I know you live in California, so I don't know what time that would be, Mikey, on the Eastern schedule. But
5:30 on Fridays, 6:00
okay.
On on Mondays.
Mondays,
or after Monday Night Football, which usually gets over about 7:45, 8ish.
Exactly. And then we got the AFC East Shakedown. That's Saturdays at 6. And then we go live every game right away. I'm so a game ends at 4. We're on at 4:10, 4:05. Like we're ready. So those are the schedules, man. But you hit the notification bell, by the way. That'll tell you.
Yeah. The last comment in here is overall, how's Josh looking? I'm concerned he's distracted. Josh has looked fantastic.
He looks great.
Like he is not distracted. He is 100% focused on what's going on inside of training camp and this team. Football's back. He's flipped the switch and he's back with the guys. You
want to answer that question before we go?
What's up with Kyrie Elam? He's not getting he is getting a lot of reps. Here's Jerick, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong here. Everything I've read from all the beach reporters, it's like him and Benford are switching every other day with Dane Jackson, and they're getting half of the first team reps. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not that he's not getting them. It's
a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's just a little inconsistent. Dane Jackson is probably the favorite right now because Dane Jackson is, and again, I don't
getting burned left and right out there.
Yeah, Dane Jack, he just knows the play. He just knows what to do more. He just knows what to do, and I think
he knows where to be
a little bit. Yeah, he just knows where to be at. But it's. I mean, when Elam is on point, he's on point. I mean, it's clear and obvious why he's a first round pick. But it's just about kind of grasping the defense a little bit and just being more consistent when he gets.
Because he's never played zone. Last year was his first year learning to play zone. He's always played man. He came from a man system. That's why Christian Benford beat him out, is because Benford played in a zone scheme. He understood it. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but still a long camp to go. Yeah, Kyer can still take the job.
Yep, 100%. All right, guys. Well, man, long show, man. Hey, Jerick, once again, we appreciate you coming on. Your YouTube channel is Jant Sports, right?
Yep.
All right, guys, you guys know where to go, Jant Sports, and he covers Alabama College too, and the Buffalo Bills. So he was actually on. What were you on today? Alabama, talking Alabama football, right?
Yeah, I was on Bama Insider. I was with they're an Alabama program, and we were just talking some previews and some other games stuff like that.
Who's the next elite guy coming from Alabama?
Ooh, Dallas Turner, Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's going to be top 10 if he plays extremely well.
He's the corner, right?
Yep. Chris Braswell's an edge rusher, is going to be really, really nasty.
Who's the quarterback?
It's either between Jalen Milroe. It's either between Milroe or Ty Simpson. It's one of those two. If Jalen improves his game, he's gonna. If he improves his game as a passer, he's gonna be a first round pick. If he doesn't, he's gonna be on. Then
he's basically Jalen Hurts.
Basically,
Jalen Hurts just needed to improve as a passer.
Yeah,
and then
he's a poor man's version of Jalen Hurts' first two years in his career, where he's a little raw, but he just needs to. He's got to polish his game, and I think like Milroe has more upside because he's faster than Hurts. Like Milroe has legit 4.3 speed. And he's stronger than Hurts, better upper body than Hurts. He just has to. He just has to be more polished on his.
All I know is the Hurricanes are coming for you this season.
Oh, well, you gotta get through Florida State first, man. You gotta get through Florida State first.
We appreciate it, brother.
Hey, Bills Mafia, we love you, and as always, go Bills. We are out of here.
Go Bills.
Peace.